Hello, everybody, and welcome to another live stream here at Behance with me and Tim, the one and only Tim Möbest.
It's
How you
me,
doing, Tim?
Tony Harmer, and on my side it's Raquel Costa. Hi, Raquel, how are you? You look different.
Just a bit different. Slight change in plan today.
Yes.
But happy to be here with you, Tim, as always.
Unfortunately,
Yes.
we had to make some changes in planning last minute, so that's why I'm here. But no worries, because we will still have lots and lots of fun today. It's a surprise stream, even for me.
It's a surprise, but what a wonderful surprise. And it's great to have everybody here. We've already got so many people in the chat. All of the community are here today. So a few hellos, of course, to everybody. Kirsty was first in this morning. So nice and prompt there, Kirsty. Hey to Caroline. Julia's in the chat as well. Caroline, great to see you all. Sean as well. And Oliver as well. So and Sandrine. So yeah, great to see you all. Andrew's saying as well, I think we've got somebody new who's saying welcome to our Adobe live streams. Today we're going to be covering a little bit of what we covered last week, right, Tim? This is another one of your special tip streams.
We're gonna
what
have
did we do last time?
some fun in After Effects, of course. Being that's the app that I have most recently discovered for myself and spent way too much time in. So no, unfortunately, no Fresco Sandrine. I'm sorry. Yeah. But we'll make sure to get Raquel in when she's feeling better as soon as possible. So it should be all good. And you definitely won't miss that stream if you are a regular viewer. But for now, let's jump on over to After Effects. And I have been teasing this topic for some time now, because I have recently discovered my new favorite tool in After Effects, which are shape animators or shape effects or shape styles. They don't really have a name, I've checked. Tim's going to teach us how to draw a light bulb in Fresco. Oliver, shush. No.
Although Sean is excited about glow effects. I don't know if we're going to cover that.
I think he has seen too many of my streams. That may be happening later. I don't know yet. They're mocking me. Okay.
We'll see what happens.
We'll see what happens.
You know, of course.
Yes.
So
And
many things.
if you requested perhaps some lens flares. Who knows? Who knows? All right.
Oh, cool. Cool.
Let's jump
And Tim,
into-
before we
yes.
get started, I was
Yeah,
going to
go
say we're
on.
going to jump in a minute. Let's tell everybody there is a huge event. I don't know if you've seen it all in Behance. At the top of the chat, everybody, we have a community event where we are going to be in person in London on Monday next week. It's called The Future of Creativity. It's an invite-only event. So you've got to try, to get a ticket, of course. And I think when do we stop taking tickets, Tim? Is it Friday?
Yes, so tickets are free but limited. So if you'd like to join the London, Paris, or Berlin event, you have to register first, and tickets can be registered until this Friday. And yeah, it's gonna be fun.
Yeah.
I will be attending the Berlin event.
Yeah. And
So
I'll be
hopefully-
there with Rufus at the London event, and Tony will be there. I think Rachel Presky will be there. And there's a few of us. I think Joe Allen will be there as well.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's very exciting. I can't wait. And if you're going to be there, then yeah, come and say hello.
No,
Great
I'm
to meet
really
you.
regretting not being able to go to the London event, because that would have been fantastic. Oh dear.
That would have been so much fun. And we've never met, Tim. We've never met in person.
I know.
either, have we?
Yet.
Yeah, I know. And Julia says, real humans? Yes,
Yes.
Julia. Real humans.
In
It is
3D.
worth it. Oh
And
my
by
gosh.
the way, if you
Come to London.
if you couldn't see that link and you don't know what we're talking about, you're chatting on the wrong platform,
Yeah.
right? So you have to join us over on behance.net/Adobe Live. Let me put the link right here. Hang on. There it is. Join us there. Say hi in the chat. If this is your first time joining, then let us know where you're watching from. But I think that's all the time we have for the intro. So see you next week. Bye. No.
I think we're ready to jump in, Tim.
I think
if you're ready now, I'll stop interrupting with exciting things like the face-to-face meetup.
And Sean is driving 4.5 hours to Berlin. Oh, Sean, you shouldn't have. Okay.
4.5 hour drive. Sean, where are you? Are you in Germany?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, he is.
No way.
Okay. So let's create a new project and a new composition. This is how it always starts. So we are in After Effects now, if you are wondering. And let's call this one Lights and Shadows. Or Lights and Lines. Lights and Layers? I don't know. Whatever. Doesn't really matter. 1080p. Yep, that's fine. 30 FPS. Great. 15 seconds. Sure, why not? Background color black. Of course. Click OK. And we have our first composition of the day. Bing. Right. Let's start with where you can actually see those effects, what I'm talking about. So for that, I will first of all make the music a tiny bit quieter because it's getting my nerves. That's better. And let's create a new layer. I will start with a, I don't know, how about, let's create a shape. Let's keep it simple, keep it basic. And I think rectangle, star, let's do a star because we are stars. We shine bright like a diamond. Right. Okay.
Very nice.
So putting that star about. Yep, here, that's great. And I think we just need to reset that stroke. So let's use about 3 pixels and let's pick, I don't know, or yellow. How about yellow? Nice orangey yellow as a star color. There we are. Okay. And Julia actually has to work. Oh, work. Don't we all? Hugs and puppies to you all. See you, Julia. Thanks for hosting the German stream, by the way. Okay. Now, the important thing, what we will focus on today, is hidden right. Oop, no. Shouldn't have zoomed in that much. There it is.
I was thinking reset. Zooming in on reset.
This is the most important button for this stream today, because if you click on that, wow, okay, you get a lot of options. Actually, let's zoom out a bit more. That was just me being silly. Right, so we have some very interesting options in here. And today, this will be all about those options and what you can do with them. So let's start with something very simple. Let's start with trim paths. Right. Let's say I would like to animate the appearance of this star. Well, easy, right? We could just say opacity, put that down to 0, move forward a bit, up to 100%, and hey presto, the star is appearing. Great, yes, but not really. Today's stream, the power of the reset button. Hang on, the power of the reset button. Okay. Right, so a star has appeared. That's great, but not exactly movie magic. I think you can all agree. It's quite underwhelming. So instead of using opacity, why don't we make it look like the star is being drawn on screen? How about that? Okay, so let's go back to the trim path, which I have added, which is under content. And I think I will just zoom in for this a bit so you can see what's going on. In here, now you can see the star itself. That's just the shape. And we have added something called trim paths. If you're used to Illustrator or other apps, you may have seen this effect before. If not, I will quickly show you how it can be useful. It has a start and an offset properties. And actually, sneak peek from last time, if you have joined us, we have actually used that effect before for the pie chart, if you remember. But now we're actually using it for the intended purpose because, look at that, we can actually, I think I would just disable the shape. If you don't know, if you don't want this shape line all the time, you can just click on that icon in the lower left here, and then you can only see the final result. And now I think you can see how we can adjust the end or the start and draw our very own star just like that. And of course, perhaps instead of animating the start, we want to animate the end. So we start at 0%. Click on the stopwatch to make sure it can be animated. Drag it forwards by, I don't know, about a second or so. Fill it up all the way to 100%. I just realized we are right in front of that keyframe. Hang on. There we are. That's better. Right. 2 keyframes. 1 or 2. And now if we play that back, yay! It's a star. Let's just quickly ease that using F9. And the difference you can see, now we have different keyframes. Those are eased keyframes. And that's just looking a bit nicer, bit smoother transition. So let's check that out. Lovely. Okay. And that was our first shape effect. Or shape animator.
Nice.
But of course, since the stream isn't over yet, there's more to do and more to discover in here than we have right now. First of all, I would like to draw your attention to the offset parameter. Because you can actually offset the starting point of the star. For example, maybe you want it to start at the top, so you can do it like this. And now the star will be drawn from the top. Or maybe you just want to draw it from here, like this. Now the star will be drawn from here, and so on. But you can also animate that offset property, just like we did with the end. So click on offset, move forward, offset it by however much you like. Doesn't have to match these ones, but I do quite like that they should. I think that they should, and ease them using F9. And now, I hope you can see that the start point is moving while we are drawing the star in. So it's a bit more dynamic, I would say.
Very cool.
And I think just for you to be able to better to see that, I would just increase the stroke to about 13. Yeah, that's it. Now we can all see that much better. Very nice. Okay, interesting. But can we do more? Well, yeah, certainly. Obviously. So let's do that. Because the cool thing now is, I mean, it says add. So maybe we can add more effects than just one. Well, yes, indeed, yes, we can. We can add more than one effect. And now this is where the fun begins. Now you are entering a world of endless possibilities. Can I have too much?
And Sean in the chat is asking for glow.
Glow.
By the way.
Just wait.
That's the second reference to
we'll
glow.
Go there, Sean.
And lens flare.
You will see more glow and lens flare than you can ever imagine later today. I hope. Right. You've never noticed the snail icon? Well, that's relatively new since you've mentioned it and since we have the time today because, spoiler alert, this crash course was supposed to happen in 2 weeks. we have time. We can just check it out. This snail is very interesting because it will show you the render time of every layer. And perhaps we can have a look at that later down the stream because we will create some layers which will increase the render time dramatically. And then that's a great way for you to keep track of which layer is causing the damage in terms of render time. So if you have one layer that's misbehaving and it's adding all the render time, you know, oh, that's this one. Interesting. Okay. And if I enable that, you get this extra column. And now we can see this render is taking 2 milliseconds to render. Great. Okay. Thanks, After Effects.
That's coffee time.
And the colors
Coffee
also
and
have
biscuits time, that is.
2 milliseconds, coffee and biscuit time. That would be a very quick coffee. And
Wow, a bit longer, but yeah. Any excuse.
okay. Cool. Then let's add our second effect. Because like I said, I know there's a lot of zooming today because I want to make sure everybody can see it, even if you're watching on a phone. We can add another effect. And let's just try something else. How about, oh, I don't know, wiggle paths? That sounds like fun. Maybe zigzag, I don't know, let's try that one out. Right, zooming out, and you can already see, well, something's definitely happening. That star looks very wiggly. And lo and behold, indeed, it does wiggle. Isn't that nice? So as you can see, if I just move that a bit here and zoom in, we have stacked those effects, right? Trim path and wiggle layer. They are both sitting in the contents of this shape layer. Very cool. So let's have a look at the wiggle path properties. See if we can change anything. Oh yeah, there we go. We can change the size of the wiggle. Let's just zoom out so we can see what's going on. So the size, I think you will see what that's doing. We can change the detail if we want really fuzzy detail. Just maybe I think we can zoom in like this so we can actually see that. So like a lot or very few detail. We can change how the corners are supposed to behave. We can change how many wiggles per second, because if we animate this, so right now I've set the corners to smooth, by the way. This is with corners. This is with it set to smooth, just needs to update. There we go. I actually like this effect more than the corner one, because I get like these round effects. And I could even have some fun with the size, that's great. But now let's keep it about here. Detail, I think, yep, that's fine. And wiggles per second. So if I press play, you will see it's animated. If you don't want that, just set the wiggles per second to 0. And look at that. Now it's not moving anymore. That's great if you perhaps want to simulate a pencil stroke effect and you don't want it to move, then you can work with that. There are some more in there which I won't really get into, like you can mess with the phase. That's mostly important, and if you have more than one wiggle effect, then you can play with that. Also the random seed, if you think back to the particle stream we did like many moons ago, then you will remember why this one is important. I won't get into that right now, but if you're interested, watch the particle stream, and I'm getting into why random seeds are important. Math, yes. Smooth, Tim, very smooth. Thanks, Sean. Googly eyes. Hang on.
Oh my gosh, you haven't got googly eyes, have you?
Very important. Some meetings are very long.
Very good.
Cool. Right, so we have successfully stacked 2 effects. And now I think it's just time for us to have a bit of fun. My personal effect.
I'm up for that.
My personal favorite effect, let's just get rid of that wiggle, is the offset path or the repeater. They both have very similar effects, but not quite the same. So let's get started. I will create, let's start with offset paths. And immediately, you can see, instead of 1 line, we now have 2, right? But let's not stop there. How about we change how far they're being offset Or if we have perhaps a round join, that should be rounding it off. It's not. Okay, maybe that's because of the shape. I would just have... Oh, no, it's doing it. Just took a second. Never mind. Let's just set it back. There we are. I was wondering, like, why is it doing the thing? But it was. I just need to increase the amount, and immediately we can see that the joins are now doing something. It just takes a second to update. You can see now it's round, now it's mitered, and now it is beveled. Come on, bevel. There we are. All right. So different ways of joining those corners, because if you offset a path, corners usually are very tricky to deal with. After Effects doesn't always know what to do with them, so you have to tell it, do you want to bevel the corners? Do you want to miter them? For a star, I think it would make sense to do a miter like this, or you can round them off if you wanted to. Okay, but the cool thing now is, right now we only have it set to one copy. And that's great, but not enough. So let's set the copy amount, which we have down here, copies, 1. Let's increase that. And set it to, let's be crazy, let's set it to 2. Wait for it, there we are. Wow! Aren't we so crazy? I mean, that's
big fan.
And of course-
Sandrine says,
Yeah, go on.
she says, bevel, we are walking on thin ice leading to glow and lens flare.
Well, it's not the same as bevel and emboss. That's very different. Very different. We won't do any beveling and embossing unless you really want us to. In that case, of course, I mean, I can always just add some bevel alpha and we can have some fun. I mean, if you, Sandrine, if you insist, I mean, I'm not going to stop you, right? Just going to the effects and presets and searching for bevel alpha and just adding some very nice beveling to the corners. I will certainly not stop you. And since you've asked, I think we now have to. There we go.
Sandrine says, I insist, in capital letters.
You did this, just so you know, right? Not my responsibility. Now we have a beautiful bevel. There we are.
Ooh, it's so pretty.
Now it's getting festive. Oh, and I'm done for it. Okay, but let's get rid of that again. I don't want that because I would rather want to focus on the effects. Okay. Now let's bring that amount back. And we can see we can already start to animate. Maybe more than 2 copies. Look at that. Right?
Ooh, it's a bit kaleidoscopy, isn't it?
Yes, and the cool thing, we can
like
offset those copies so we can get rid of the ones in the center because I don't want them. About here. That's it. Now we can
I could see this being opening credits for the game show here, Tim. You can use this.
Maybe we could
Very cool.
add some slight rotation, perhaps.
Yes. See, Sean, I completely agree. Sean says this is
hang
the
on.
old American show Star Search.
What's happening
Yes,
here?
Sean.
I think our our trim path is not liking this, so we may have to adjust this. No worries. We will fix that in a moment. But for now, I think
Yes,
we
do
just
it.
will
Stars in their
disable
eyes.
that. There we go. Right. Okay. Interesting. Let's just make sure we offset it enough so we can actually fill the whole frame. Okay. And oh, that's also an interesting effect. Not what I expected, but certainly interesting.
Looks very Star Wars.
And perhaps we can start with, oh no, not Alt. Sorry, I don't want to add an expression. I just want to add a keyframe. We could start with a very low amount or maybe not that low. We just keep it about here, and then we could move it up like this.
Stuart beat me to it. He says in the chat, tonight, Matthew, I'm going to be meatloaf. Yes, that's it. Tonight, Matthew. That was always how it started. I was going to say it. Love it.
Okay, and of course the offset. Just play with that. Now we're getting into really crazy territory, so we need to be careful here. I mean, that's a very interesting effect, and I'm sure we could do something with that if I was more creative, which I'm not. So I would just add some glow.
Which you are.
Because as we all know,
glow. Yes to the glow.
Glow fixes everything. Just need to increase the radius and add another, because glows, in my opinion, should be stacked. And bring down the intensity and change the color.
When in doubt, add glow.
Glow it out.
Yes.
And I think immediately we can see some very interesting applications. Like we could add some text in the center that could be revealed if we start like this and then have it open like whoop, and text in the center. How about that? So actually,
I like that.
Let's take those keyframes, reverse them, and bring them all over here. Bring those over there. And of course, we should definitely ease those keyframes. And then we could have.
This is really cool, Tim.
Okay. Let's see what else we can do. Because, you know, that's all nice and well. I do like that effect, but I think we can do a bit more than that. So, let's create a new composition. We will come back to this one in a moment, and we will call that one repeat. Because I would like to show you the best friend of the offset path, which is the repeater. It's similar, but not quite the same. All right, so let's do it. For this one, I will actually create just a rectangle, a boring old rectangle, just like this. Yep. I don't want it to have a stroke, but I would like to have a fill, and I think for this one, we can also just use a very similar color like this maroon. And let's just move that towards here. Okay. Now, and of course, to make it look nice, I will add a glow right away. So we can all appreciate the look. Okay, close enough. Okay, cool. Let's now check out the repeater, which I can add by clicking on the add button, and going down until I can see the repeater. There it is. Okay, click on that. And now immediately, without even doing anything at all, we can see that it has done something. If I toggle it, you can see something has been added onto the right. Why? Because the repeater has some default settings, which we will change now. Okay, so let's check out the repeater and see what we have. First of all, well, we have seen that one before, copies. Okay, offset, yeah, we know what that is. But then, hang on, transform settings. We also have seen them before, like on the normal layer. Very familiar. All right, okay. And we can see the position has already been changed to 100. So what's going on here? Essentially, what Repeater is doing is you can take an object, you can transform it, and then copy that object, transform it again, copy that object, and transform it again, and so on. So you can sort of create a transformation chain similar to the step and repeat if you have ever used that in Photoshop or Illustrator. One picture is worth 1,000 words, so let me show you how I would do it. First of all, I will set the horizontal position back to 0 and the vertical, because I think that's much better, much more easy to see. And you can see, like, I can transform it down. This line is moving down, then it will be copied, transformed again, and moved down again. And if we add more copies, then guess what? Yeah, we can add more lines, which can go as far as we want. I can decrease that like this, like that. Okay, nice, but not very interesting. So why don't we also try out the other options? So far, we have just moved the position by 51 pixels. Let's change it to 50 just to be nice. But we can also play with rotation. And this is where the fun begins. Because very quickly, if I change the rotation, you can see we get some very organic almost shapes like this. And if we now play even with the scale, that, we can very quickly create quite complex shapes. Like, I think actually scale that down, and now I'm really just having some fun. I'm not I'm not trying to do anything in particular. I'm just looking at what could be fun and create some very fun and not at all playing around with the shapes and effects and see what I could do. But like you can see,
could you do this with the letters as well? If you put some type in there, could you do this like, almost like, you know, morph the words on the page using this technique? Or
we will actually get
is it more
some
like
Sandrine
says this would look good? Oh, good. Because Sandrine's thinking like me. She says this would look good as a logo. Yes, Sandrine. That's where my mind was going. Very cool.
And now the stage is really yours. You can do whatever you want. Create some very graphical effects. And my favorite part of this, of course, I can move that up perhaps. And I can animate however many copies I want, or I can animate the offset. So maybe we start down here. Keyframe that. And let it animate over to here until it's fade out again. And then let's play that back. Right?
Very cool.
I have to say,
very cool.
Like
I can see that being like a screensaver. You know those old screensavers that used to kind of twirl around?
Yeah.
Something like that. And and Stuart says it's like an old VHS logo intro. I know exactly what you mean. Yeah.
I mean, if we want to do it that way, of course, we can. I think we have to also create some other colors. And perhaps use slightly different parameters for that. Just hit U twice so I can open all the keyframes. And now let's just say, instead of the rotation being like that, we'll just change it very slightly, the position. How about, yeah, like this, and the rotation. Could change it the other way around, or even more like this. Play around with the position. And maybe even the scale, yeah, because why not? Well, that's crazy. Not what I expected, but let's see what happens. Oh dear, it's a laser show. That's a bit much, perhaps.
Get the music out.
Right? Okay. Not what I expected, but very, very interesting nonetheless. So perhaps we can change it to slightly different settings than this. Oh, hang on. There we go. Thanks, After Effects. Uh-oh. Oh, no. I think After Effects is not happy.
Oh, no.
Oh, dear.
Oh, no. Well, while you fix that, don't worry. I'll remind everybody about our invite-only event that I mentioned at the start of the live stream. So if you've joined us halfway through, or if you've just joined us now, we're meeting in person in London, in Paris, and in Munich, right, Tim? Munich? Munich as well? Berlin, sorry. And it starts on Monday next week. And so if you can get any time out of your busy schedules and come down to meet us, it'd be great to meet you in person. And so I'll be at the London event, Tim will be in Germany, and Emma will be in France. So
yeah.
Yes, great to see you if you can make it.
And I have fixed it by just clicking OK 3 more times. That was it. That's all it took. Just saying yes, okay, After Effects, yes, okay, yes, okay, and then After Effects, okay, fine. But this is reminding me, is Annika in the chat? Hang on. No, she's not. Oh, you have to do all the work on your own.
No, she's not here.
Save. Let's call that one 80s screen saver. Okay, now it's saved. Crazy. Amazing. Okay.
Wow.
So I think you can all see that you can have lots and lots and lots of fun. Even if I increase that glow, I think one more time couldn't hurt, right? Radius. Take down the intensity. Yeah, there we go. Yep, there we go. Now it's fun. Now it's really glowing. Right.
Oh wow.
Let's just let that render for a second, because now I think now it would be a good time to add that snail, because we can see it's now taking almost a second per frame to render. Like 3/4 of a second, 760 milliseconds. And you can see it's orange now, so that means, warning, this won't be real time. But since After Effects in the latest version, on the newer versions, can render multiple frames at once, we can still get it in almost real time. So now we can check that one out, see what we did, and amazing. Cool. Let's add some text, I think. Because why not?
Yeah. So is it a 90s game show that we're doing, or an 80s game show? I can't remember now.
80s.
Is it 90s? 80s, even better. Okay, cool.
It is.
Do you think we can use it for that? It's very
well, I will certainly create some other, hopefully better shapes than this, but yes, sure. We can have some fun with this. I can create some glowing graphics in neon. And this time even, play the sound while I play the intro. Unlike last time, when you had the 80s design with Tony. I played the intro.
That was cool.
You heard the song. I heard the song. Tony heard the song, but nobody else.
That's true, because I was dancing and I remember people said that they could only hear the beads. That's not there.
Great. Anyway, moving on to some text, because you said I want to animate some text. And yes, indeed, shape animators or shape effects can also help us with that. So let's go back to our first composition, this one, and let's add some text. Okay. So I will just twirl that down and create a new layer and some text. I think we will call that one. What do we want to type here? Quick, Any suggestions, any ideas?
Oh, for me, I was chatting away in the chat. I think you could put something like introducing, and then it's like the game show, like Maddy Rules. No, Maddy Rules. So like introducing the Adobe Live 80s game show.
Oh, that's a bit.
And then, you know,
that's a bit much.
whoosh.
I think.
Okay, maybe just introducing.
Let's just keep it simple, you know.
Hey, Emma. You see Emma's joined us.
Oh, Emma, that's good. That's good.
How you doing?
Emma.
Oh my God.
Next
Put
stream.
Put all of the hosts in there, not just me on my own. Get us all in there. Yay. Next stream. That is so good.
All right.
Love it.
Let's just decrease the line spacing a bit. There we go. And there we are. All right. Okay. And now, of course, since we have this fantastic star animation, I think the text deserves some animation as well. And we have a lot of options in there.
Yes.
So let's disable the star layer for just a moment, and let's check out the effects when using text. So, scroll that down. Now we have a new button called Animate. And by the way, this has nothing to do with the track mat. It just happens to be over here. So don't be confused by that. It's going to be all right. Okay. So first of all, yeah, I mean, we can easily animate the default things like, oh yeah, we can enable the anchor point, we can animate that, we can animate the position, but that's not very interesting, is it? No. Let's create something else. Let's check out these ones down here. For example, we could have some fun with, I don't know, the character offset. What in the world is that? Well, let's click it and see what happens. First of all, well, nothing really happens at all because we haven't changed anything. Luckily, the default setting of this effect is that nothing is happening. That's good. So we can start from a fresh canvas. And the way to enable this effect is there's a character offset, and right now it's set to 0. And using stapler accident finger, we can change that and watch what happens to the text. Oh no. What is going on? So what's happening now is we can offset the text by a number of characters. So watch this. E, if we offset it by 1, becomes, what comes after E? F.
F?
So it's an F. What comes after M? Hang on, I just want to disable that. L, M, N.
So it's gone, okay.
Hang on, there we are. N.
So how would you get that to be random then? Not just like one letter.
Well, the cool thing about that is it doesn't really matter. Because nobody will say, well, that doesn't look random to me. If I said it like to 2 maybe, nobody will ever say like, oh no, that's not random. Okay, but why would you use this? Like why, huh? That's not really useful, is it? Well, this one really works well together if you are using the range selector. So right now we're applying this effect to every character in the world that's existing. Okay, but maybe we want to animate this. And the way to do that is we can select a start point. Now look what happens. Isn't that interesting? So you can sort of unscramble the effect like this.
Love it.
Okay, so maybe we actually animate the character offset. We start at, I don't know, 2 and go all the way up to like a lot. So if we play that back, you will see it's like just creating weird characters all over the place. And now we can animate the start point and slowly reveal the text like this. So if we play that back, it will look like this. A bit like those displays you have
cool,
at
Tim.
airports, at old airports or train stations. You remember those?
It says that in the chat, and Sean puts password decoding machine, and Sandrine says the Matrix. All of which I thought as you were building this.
There you go.
This is exactly as you see it on the movies with the airports. Nice one, Tim.
And of course, we can
Cool
also
effect.
we can also stack those, because let's just duplicate that layer and get rid of the of that animator, because I will show you how we can actually combine that with other effects to make it look like it's actually we could try the Matrix effect. I haven't tried that. Maybe we can see what we can do with that.
Hey,
Yeah.
Sean asks a good. Oh no, Angus asks a good question. Good question, and it's a good point actually. How do you make sure that there's no risk of rude words forming in that that formula?
Well,
Because there could be. You'd have to go through every step, right, and check.
I mean, it's unlikely. Usually, if you offset everything by one letter, you won't really get a new word. It's very unlikely, I would say. But yeah, of course.
It'd be very unlucky.
If you really want to make sure nothing rude is popping up, and I hope it didn't on the stream right now, then yeah, you would have to go in frame by frame. You can't really do anything about that. But I mean, honestly, it's going by so fast. I don't think. Of course, wrong layer. Hang on.
And is this called a flipboard? Sean asks.
This is
called?
Technically it's a split flap display, but this is neither flipping nor split. But if you are looking for that, it's called a split flap display, and you can actually purchase them for your own home. And you can put up messages on them if you want. It's fun and expensive. They cost like $2,000. Anyway.
What?
Yeah.
Wow.
But they're like Bluetooth enabled. It's fantastic. I was so close to getting one, but then I remembered I don't need one. Right. Okay. It's just like, Tim, why would you need one of those displays? They are big, they are loud. You look at them once and never again. Never mind. Right. So let's have a look at the other options which we can pair with this effect. So maybe this will also help us in getting rid of any rude words. Because I was thinking maybe instead of this text existing always like this, maybe we can sort of show it slowly, like only character by character, instead of having it all at once. So let's try that. Let's click on animate. I've created a copy of that layer without the letter scramble effect, and I can go to maybe opacity. Right? Now you're asking probably, why would you animate opacity like this when you could animate opacity just as any other sane person via the normal transform? Well, because we now have in the animator, we have a range selector again. So let's just close everything what we don't need, like this. And let's see what happens. So first of all, I will set the opacity down to 0. And now, if I tweak the start, you can see I can reveal the letters one by one, because it's selecting characters individually. If I don't want to do it character by character, maybe I do want to do word by word, then I can go into the more options. I can say, ooh, no, I don't want to do character by character, perhaps word or every line. So let's say we want to do word or line perhaps, because that would make more sense. And now, if I do the same thing, I animate the start, it should It should, but it's not. Why is it? Why isn't it? Should do it like that. Apparently I've done something wrong. Have I picked the wrong? Oh yeah, I have picked the wrong one. Never mind. It is down here. Here are the options of the... no, hang on. What happened? Hang on, that's not right. What have we done wrong? This is why I usually practice this more than we did today. Let's just reset that.
It was very last minute though, Tim, so don't worry about it.
No, it should be working.
While you're resetting, let everybody know about our streams next week, because not only do we have our live event on Monday evening, Monday day we'll still be doing a live stream, so there will still be a stream at the normal time. And on Monday, I think we've got David back, so doing it's Joe doing travel photography, isn't it, on Monday next week? So Joe Allen will be here doing travel photography. On Tuesday, Rachel and Karina are back in Fresco. Love that stream. If you've done one before, they're just love him. And then on Wednesday, Carl Webster's here doing some hidden treasures, all about David Bowie. Okay. Bowie, always the debate. But yes, settle it in the chat.
Okay.
Settle it in the chat.
I know what happened.
Cool.
I have
Go on, Tim.
Selected the wrong option. It was for something else up here. What I want is down in the advanced properties. That's where we have it. Lines, characters, words, lines. That's what I wanted to do. Okay. Now we can actually animate it line by line. So we can start like this. Emma, leg stream. Nice. And if we don't want percentages, we can also use an index. So one word should be just the first line. If we say 2, then we have 2. So that way we don't have to deal with percentages. If we just want one line, then we can just type in 1. Okay. So now we can take that knowledge, what we just learned, so that we can enable characters one by one. And we can use it on the text down here. So I will create, I will add, hang on, sorry. I will add a opacity. I will start that over at 0. So, like this. No, 0, thank you. And I will then go into the, hang on, where are my advanced options? There they are. Oh, I think I've added it to the wrong one again. Hang on. Yes, I added to the animator. I don't want that. I want to add it like this. So add opacity. There we are. Now we have a second animator. That's what I wanted. And now I can actually decrease the opacity to 0. It's sometimes a bit tricky keeping track of where you are, especially if you haven't had the time to make sure everything works. But now if we go to start and end, in theory, yes. And I think we just have to bring that a bit forward like this. And now you can see, I think we could even bring them a bit later. Actually, let's move everything a bit closer like this, like that. And now, hopefully, well, that's not really what I wanted, but how about something like this? How about like that? Let's see. Oh, no, I would like to play everything After Effects, please. Thank you. Oh, there we are.
Can you slow it down? It's very fast.
Yeah, sure. We can just take those keyframes at the end and just whoop, move them a bit further out.
This is so cool. This is really cool.
And of course, then
it's stuff like this, right? You see on streams and you realize it's in movie. You know, when you watch movies at the beginning of movies, and then you see stuff like this and you're like, oh, that's how they did it.
Yeah.
I'm like this all the time now.
And you can also decide, depending on how much you move the keyframes, you can say like, oh, I want more than one letter moving, so like this. So now we have more moving before they find the right letter. Or maybe you just want the one, so you can make it really tight. So now only one letter is always scrambling. And you have many different options to really have some fun with that. Okay. And of course, the cool thing about this, again, is we can stack more and more and more. So maybe we want like, ooh, I don't know. First of all, let's create a new animator. So animate, and we could perhaps say position. Right, we can move the position, and remember, we can do it character by character. So let's say we will move it down or up if it's the matrix, but like this. Just like here.
Do you know, we're chatting in the chat there too, we're talking about title sequences to movies. You know, I was just saying that when you watch it, you're like, oh, I know how they did that. And Sean shared, my wife is so sick of me saying, I know how they did that. My husband's exactly the same. It's funny though, isn't it? Because you can't help it. Now that you know, it's like you're an insider, you know. Okay. So now, yeah.
So let me try that. First we start from 0 and then all the way to 100. Okay, now we just have to tweak exactly how they should be appearing, because of course we don't want them to, hang on, you think we just need to do like this, so they are still scrubbing when they are down here, and they should be all right when they are there. So how about something like this? Let's play that back. Okay, getting closer. Right, the letters are now scrubbing when they fall down. That's cool. And I think we could try perhaps a repeater maybe. If we can do that. Can we actually do that? Or do we have to fake it in a different way? I'm just thinking. I think we may have to fake it. But that's okay, because I know how. We can add, this is not a layer, a shape effect, but this is just a normal effect. And this one is called Echo. So let me just open my effects window, which is here. This one's called Echo. Can just drag it on top and create numbers of echoes. There we go. We want to fade them down quite a lot. And I think, yeah. Well, it's a bit fast right now. I do agree. But
it's cool though.
It's fun. So I think maybe just like this, and maybe only a couple of them. Maybe we just need to fade that down a bit more. Yeah. And perhaps we just have to pick a different font. How about that? Window character. What screams matrix? I don't know. Maybe just something like this.
Computery, something like
a console font, maybe. I mean, that's close. Do we have a console? Comics? No, definitely not. Oh, that's very movie
Stuart has a question for you in the chat, Tim.
Yeah, go on.
Oh, it is, yeah. Stuart asked, could you pre-compose and scatter to get that matrix effect?
Well, we could. I mean, nobody would stop us just from creating a one-letter text and placing that all over the canvas. You know, like we just have the E, and that's animated like this, like that, and you copy and place that all over. Nobody's stopping us from doing that. But now that you say that, I'm thinking we could play around with the tracking. Could make the text larger like that. First of all, I think we need to change the color to a more matrixy green. That's better. And I think you, by now you're all expecting me to do it. Say it with me. Glow. Exactly.
Yes, you can see this. Sean's put it in capitals. Glow. Stuart says shields up. This is so cool. Tim, we have been on stream for an hour and you have done, what is it, 5 effects now?
Oh, I'm not done yet.
In this time? No, I know. This is what I'm saying. You've done so much in an hour. You were still going, got another 30 minutes.
Now it doesn't really fit together with this effect anymore, I think. Unless we change the color of this to green, maybe. Well, maybe it does work. I don't know. Hang on, let's try that. How about... No. No. Yeah. Oh, that's very 80s. Now it's 80s again.
Yay. Sean puts a star-studded matrix into the vortex.
Oh dear. Well, it's well, first of all, I realize the text is starting up here. That's not good. It's just starting out of nowhere. I think we have to move it that bit more up, but that's okay. Or maybe we just play with the opacity, so it's not. Yeah, I think we would have to play with the opacity by actually it should be actually fairly simple, because if we change, we do have an animator somewhere with the opacity. I think it might be this one. Just change this dark
Tim,
bit further. Yeah, good. What?
I think that Sandrine has potentially got another song title for us for the Adobe live stream album. Let It Glow, Let It Glow, Let It Glow.
Oh man, no.
This could be another song.
You know, I really have to. The guitar is sitting right down there, and I really have to stop myself from grabbing it.
And the note, I'm ready with the nose flute whenever it's needed. Let It Glow. This could be a tune. This could be the one, I think.
Hang on. Hang on. Can I play that on stream right now? I don't know. Is it possible for me? I think it is. Since this stream is off the rails anyway, I don't think... oh, it's not even in tune. Great. No, it's not in tune. Anyway, all right. Never mind. I'm not going to play something right now. It's not in tune. Okay.
Celebrate.
Cool.
And we're back in the game.
And we're back. Those people who are watching this right now and don't expect me to be there, like, what the heck is going on?
No, Sean's like, go for it. Brilliant.
Okay. Cool. That's nice, I think. I don't know. Let's now see what else we can do. Because, of course, that's not all. And what I really want to highlight is that if we go back to the other effect, I think this was the repeat one. Remember this one? Let's just hide this. You don't have to stop here, right? You can keep going. maybe, just maybe, you add another effect, and perhaps we will use zigzag, because why not? And immediately you can see, if we go into zigzag, that we can play with the size. Interesting. And you can create some very cool, there we are, some very interesting effects that you can stack with the other ones. And you can play either with the smooth corner, maybe like this. Look at that, right? And maybe a bit more than that. I want like...
That's cool.
Oh, what? That's something. But I really liked this...
Looks like a dragon. Very cool.
This effect. And now we, of course, have to decrease the size to make it look like it's a bit like a dotted line, like that. And do we like the round one or not? Oh, that one is also not too bad. And you can immediately... What? Is tuning a nose flute? Oh no. Okay. Shouldn't have read the chat. Ew.
You always need a nose flute because there's always someone's birthday or something where. So I always have one in my handbag. Anyway, sidebar.
I think we lost the stream in many.
I like how you just lean back in your chair. You're like, yeah, okay. Tangent, there it says.
Cool.
Oh my
cool.
gosh.
But what I wanted to say is you don't have to stop there.
Gosh.
You can have some fun with that. And why don't we add another effect to this? Because who's stopping us? We could create like a twist, maybe. It's just... So,
Tim, can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
So, you know, in the Royal Jubilee, Platinum Jubilee weekend, we just had amazing weekend. You know how they had a corgi in the sky with drones moving around over Buckingham Palace? Could you do that with this effect? As in, instead of have a line like you started with, have a corgi, like a shape. I mean, I know we're not going to do it now, but I'm just asking. And have a shape and then move that shape around in this way to make it look like, you know.
I mean, we can take any shape we want. It doesn't have to be, this is just a rectangle. It happens to be a rectangle. We could even modify that rectangle if we wanted to. Like, see that?
Go.
It can be any shape we want. I could have done the same thing with a star. I just wanted to do the line because I happen to know that you can create these really interesting Bezier-looking effects like this. So yes, absolutely.
Cool.
Now, what's interesting is that sometimes if I change the order of the effects, you get a different result. So what we're doing right now is essentially we are first creating the rectangle, then we're adding some zigzag, then we're twisting it, and then we're repeating it. We could also first repeat it and then twist it. We could also just first repeat it, then add the zigzag, and then add the repeat, or the other way around. So there's definitely some interesting things to think about when working with these effects. The order does matter. Right? What's going on again? Tim, can you show us how to create a corgi in the sky with drones using After Effects? You have 20 minutes. Yeah. I mean, for that, I should have first watched whatever Maddy was describing. I haven't watched that. So I don't even know what she's talking about, but I'm sure it's great. And then we need the $1 million budget. Emma, I think you're on this.
I didn't wear waterproof mascara for this stream. Normally it's just Tony, but Tim. Oh my God.
And of course, world-class compositors from the BBC. But I'm sure I can do it in 20 minutes without prep in After Effects with a great host on my side. With the power of my electric guitar, I think you and I can do it.
Emma just put, did I just see flying corgi? No, you need to Google this because, sorry, it's really made me laugh.
Well, I mean, flying corgis, that's easy,
Oh,
right?
I'll stop now.
this, and a bit of that, and that, and that. Right, ear, tail, and there's your corgi. There you go. Now we can take this, move the fill. There we go. Right, and then we can add our transport. We can create a repeater. There we are. And add the copies like this. Create the offset.
Stop making me laugh, you lot. It's so funny.
Scale that down. There we go. And perhaps
You're doing a corgi now.
perhaps rotation just to make it fun. And the position. And offset. So there we go. Start the offset here.
Right.
And
why does this always happen? It's you lot. Everyone's so funny on this community. Honestly.
And there we have it.
Right. Stop making it.
That was a very quick corgi.
Oh, I got black mascara all over my face.
No, it's fine.
Yeah.
You look great.
Probably.
There we have it. I think BBC, if you're hiring, I'm here. Do you know? I think I could just print this out, send it over, and they will say like, we got you.
Right.
No, hang on. I can't do it yet because, say it with me. That's right. Now it's perfect. Wow. I mean, that's art right there for you.
I was not expecting that on this stream, Tim.
Neither was I. I think I don't think anybody was. There we are. See, even After Effects wasn't expecting this. Let's see if I can fix it live. Hang on. See, there we go. Fixed it. Okay.
Right.
Right. How many minutes do we have left? 12. Okay. So we do have a bit more because actually I do wanted to show you something that's quite cool other than this. So let's say I will just get rid of that corgi for unrelated reasons. And I can actually go on with what we have created here because nobody's stopping me from actually using this as just normal footage. Like I could create my second favorite effect, turbulent displays. Put that right in front of glow, not blow, that's something different. And increase the amount. Scale down the size, increase complexity. And and suddenly, in theory, we can create almost an effect that looks a bit like fire, don't you think? Like if we could a bit of this. There we go. A bit more red. Just tweak it until it's just right. And now we almost have this very interesting evolving fire effect. Right? Totally different. And of course, we should make sure this one actually looks better than it does right now, so we need to tweak the settings a bit, but I'm sure we can. You believe me if I say that we can get this from a totally different place. Fire-breathing corgis. Yeah, there we go. Are you all right? Well, I don't envy the other people who will join you for a meeting later today and Maddy just suddenly bursting out like fire-breathing corgis. Maybe we just want one fire. Maybe
it's so funny. I need to stop looking at the chat because they set me off every time. Right. Stop it, you lot. Right.
I mean, if you're having fun, that's all right. I'm just here sitting and having some fun on my own.
Oh, dear.
Right. And now I'm just, again, of course, seeing if I can create something cool. And as we can see, if we perhaps even animate the evolution like this, then we can create a very interesting effect that doesn't look like anything was created with those repeating layers, I think, right? That is completely different, but we can have some great fun with that. And I actually have prepared another project, which I will maybe show at the end, where I have tweaked that fire effect a bit more, so it actually looks a bit more like fire. But right now we are almost at time, so I think we have perhaps time for one more effect, one final one, maybe. What do you think?
Yeah, go for them.
Because if we have a look at the effects, just scroll up like here, there are more for you to play around with. So we have like some we haven't gotten into yet. For example, the pucker and bloat. That could be fun, right? You can create all sorts of interesting effects just with one simple slider. And this one almost looks, if we had like a green color,
cool.
This could look like some leaves to me, almost, right? And also important, this is all based on a star, right? Nobody says it has to be based on a star. It could be anything else. We could create custom shapes, corgis, maybe, and have them animated and create all those very cool and interesting effects. And you can see we have all stacked them on top of each other. And we can just go on. Like, how about we also add some twist, maybe? Maybe, right? Let's twist again. And suddenly we get this. Maybe we don't want the pucker and blow it. Maybe that's a bit much, right? So,
oh, I like the waves. They look like waves. Very cool.
Yeah. And we could animate those waves like this. Could be a portal into a new dimension.
Oh, that's cool.
Or it could just dance like this, back and forth. We can play with the center. It doesn't have to be in the center. We could have it like right here. And just like, okay, now I'm just having fun. Point is, what I wanted to say with this, you can create many different looking effects using just those simple transform options you have down there. The text options are a bit different. Like I said, for example, we have, like, we can blur things. We can play with the tracking. Like, why don't we do that? Let's just try that. Tracking amount. We can space that out, and we can actually animate this. This is how you can animate the tracking. So tracking is just spacing in between each character. So we could start it at a very wide setting and animate that one down to, back to 0. And now
cool.
It sort of moves together. Maybe not the effect we want for this, but it is certainly there. And of course, what I haven't gotten into is, like, for the other effects, for example, the path, the text offset, which I would just think that was, let's see which one it was. Of course, we could have named those. That would have been a good idea, but of course I didn't. So I just have to guess which one it could be. Could be all of them. I don't know. We could also change how that text is behaving. So if it's just animating character by character, if it's animating throughout the entire Unicode set, if you know what that is, then you will know why it's useful. Okay. But I promised you, as a last one, to show the project I have created earlier. And I think this one was actually intended for the, well, hang on, first, let's save this one. And I think this is under that project. It isn't German. Literally just says ein Text. So that's all the German you have. But you can see I have created some more complicated looking, almost like embers, and you can really see the glow coming in. So if I play that back at full resolution, and I know this won't look as good on stream, but you can clearly see like some very fiery effects, and that sort of disappears. And this was a quite big composition, so we can really zoom in and see all those, all those details. And those all were also created by the exact same effect we had right now. So if we go into the effects, nope, not of the text, but right here, you can see this started out like this. Very similar to the effect we had before. So if I just let that render, takes a second because it's quite big. You can see it started out like this. So let's just play that again. Like, doesn't look like anything, but when you add this turbulent displace, it sort of moves those pixels and you create something that's quite different, I think. And I do have to say, I really
I was not expecting to do that.
Right? Out of
this? Out of the 80s line.
That looks very like an awards show. Like, the award for best camera goes to...
Very cool. Emma says, nailed it. Absolutely. Sean says, wow.
Okay. Cool. And I think with that, we will end the stream slightly early today. But that's okay, because I hope, unless, of course, you have any questions. In that case, we have more time. And
let us know.
I think
everyone's just saying very nice. Linda wants to try it.
We should also say that, once again, if you don't know, Adobe has a Future of Creativity event coming up next week in London on Monday. And if you would like to register, tickets are free but limited. So get in your registration now. There's a banner above the chat, and I can also post the link one more time in the chat. There we go. Yeah. And if you can't see the chat, then you are probably watching on YouTube. So I will just put the link on stream. There it is. So do join us there. And for a very impromptu stream today, I didn't expect that one for today. I think that wasn't too bad, was it? Like the corgis, that was fun.
Tim, you're amazing. I mean, this was like a last minute, 5 minutes before the stream kind of situation. You're just amazing. You've covered so many effects. You've made me cry laughing. You made everyone else laugh, and everyone's joined in the chat today, making me laugh. So it's been great fun. And I hope to see some of you in London. It'd be lovely to see you. So if you can make it, come say hello.
Or to Berlin.
It'd be lovely.
Different link for Berlin, by the way. Not the same link.
Yeah.
If you
or Paris. Mm-hmm.
So if you
Paris
want to join
Berlin, absolutely.
Then join the German streams. We have a link over there. Or French streams. Then you get the Paris link, respectively.
Fabulous. Well, have a great day, everybody. I'm going to go and reapply my makeup after losing it all in this stream.
And show us, if you have the time at home, do show us your creations. Perhaps you can find a better corgi shape than I could create in 5 seconds. I'm sure you could. And send those fire-breathing corgis. Now you know how to do it. And I will probably go ahead and watch the actual footage and see how great my version of my rendition of this was. I'm sure it was spot on.
It was, Tim. That and more. Amazing. Have a great day, everybody. And we'll see you next week. Bye, everyone.
See you then. Bye.